Happy Monday! Well, not for Ted. The good doctor is getting an earful from Nicole in his hotel room. He's been in surgery all day, so he's a little out of the loop, and he's taken aback by his estranged wife's anger at yet another secret he's been keeping from her. When Nicole specifies what she's angry about this time, Ted stands his ground. "I know what it's like to make a devastating mistake and want to make it all go away," he says, telling Nicole, "That self-pity crap is beneath you." Nicole proceeds to read Ted, reminding him that his lies kept her, Martin's mother, not to mention a psychiatrist, from helping her son when he needed her the most. "The more I hear, the more I wonder who the hell I married," she says, adding that whatever very slim possibility there was of us getting back together, it's ruined. You ruined it. Ted can't believe Nicole would use Martin's situation as an excuse to stop fighting for their marriage, especially since he only kept the secret from her to keep her safe. Done listening, Nicole makes a dramatic exit. Still troubled by his last conversation with Smitty, Jacob confides in Naomi that he thinks Smitty might be covering up for Martin. There is no way Martin, of all people, is connected to a crime, she tells her husband. Naomi suggests that Jacob give Martin and Smitty some space, but she can tell something else is bothering him. He mentions being suspicious of his father's involvement in the situation, but even questioning his dad makes him feel like he's betraying him. All she wants is for Jacob to let Marcel and Chief Hawthorne handle this case for everyone's sake. Then Naomi asks a troubling question. Even if Jacob's suspicions are accurate, does he really want to kick that hornet's nest? Jacob thinks that's a typical Dupree answer, telling him to stand by his family even if there may be a crime involved. "Baby, you're reaching," she tells him. Dani then brings up Andre's night out with Ashely, telling him that he's free to sow his wild oats. "You can do whatever and whomever you choose," Dani tells him. Andre says he can't wait to make Dani eat those words someday. But further conversation will have to wait, because Dani is summoned to Dupree Manor, at Bill's law firm, in Storm's Chelsea. Furious that he would put their family in this position, it turns out she's there to talk about another designer who's threatening to sue her for copying one of their purses, and Bill apologizes for not being more on top of things. Bill admits that dropping the ball isn't like him, but neither is having a stroke, or having Chelsea ask him for help. "It's been a long time," he says, and he's fully amenable to her suggestion that Tomas take over her legal situation. "No more secrets from each other," Chelsea says. "From the rest of the world, that's fine. That's how it should be. But with family, we have to stay close." The awkwardness continues at Garland Memorial Hospital, where Derek shows up to return his resistance bands. "I've been told there's magic in these hands," Shanice tells Derek, with Ashely rolling her eyes just feet away. Shanice even offers to do a house call for further physical therapy. When Derek is surprised she'd do that for him, she replies, "There's not much I wouldn't do." But Derek doesn't go home after dropping off the bands. He sticks around to chat with Shanice. "I haven't had much to smile about lately, and you changed that," he tells her. She's glad to hear it, but she has to know something. "Are we just brightening each other's day, or is this for the benefit of others?" she asks, gesturing over to Ashely. "What if it's both?" Derek replies. "Is that a problem?" Shanice says she has no problem with his ulterior motives, because she has one of her own. She needs to keep her flirting game sharp, so she's considering this cardio for the soul. Then she adds, "And I'd be honored to help you find your way back to the woman you want," gesturing at Ashely again. "I don't mind being messy, as long you're honest." Andre then arrives at the hospital, just in time for Ashely to pull him into a confusing game of fake flirting. "Just go with it," she says, laughing loudly at his jokes and thanking him for compliments he never actually gave. She's doing it clumsily, but at least she's very apologetic. When Andre leaves, Derek approaches Ashely, and they commiserate about how difficult it can be to move on from someone you loved. She says she isn't really moving on with Andre, nor did she see Shanice coming. She's hardworking, smart, funny, and patient. "Like you, but not you," Derek says, adding that he wants her to be happy, even if she isn't happy with him. "Just say you don't hate me," Ashely says, To which he replies, "I could never hate you. Ever." At Vernon and Anita's, Dani is sobbing after getting the whole story about what happened 2 years ago. The racism, the violence, all of it makes her sick. But she's so grateful that Martin and Vernon survived. Martin wonders if he acted wrongly out of fear, attacking the brothers too hastily. But Vernon reminds him that he only acted to defend him. Dani adds that she's glad Martin was there to keep Vernon from harm. Nicole makes a dramatic return to Vernon and Anita's, where she and Martin immediately embrace in a tearful hug. "Don't worry," she says. "Mama's got you." Tonight, she says, is all about him getting rest, and they'll get to work tomorrow, fixing some of the broken pieces. Despite his family's insistence that Smitty and the kids will forgive him, Martin isn't so sure, sending an emotional goodnight text just to make sure. Downstairs, Dani and Nicole reconnect over everything they're going through. They want to turn back the clock 20 years, 30 years, heck, back to when they were just two unshakable kid sisters. "How did we get here?" Nicole asks. "I miss who we used to be." With tears in her eyes, Dani puts forth a great effort in settling things with Nicole. "We're not perfect people, but we're also not the enemy," Dani tells Nicole. "We can be a bitter pill, but you need us. We can help you heal, so stop pushing us away." With a hug and a kiss, all is well between Dani and Nicole at last. Bill pays Ted a visit at the hotel, where he's brought up to speed about everything Nicole now knows. Bill also lets him know that Kenny is dead. "Oh my God, Bill, what did you do?" Ted immediately asks, adding that it's awfully convenient that Bill and Joey both had the same alibi for the night of Kenny's death. Ted says they're just lucky Jacob isn't on the case, which Bill agrees is the last thing they need. Sounding an awful lot like Naomi, Bill tells Ted to let Malone and Chief Hawthorne do their job. The threat is eliminated. The Beyond the Gates What to Watch moments for Wednesday, July 23, 2025, reveal that Leslie has a new agenda. But will it work, or will it backfire? Everyone is already onto her. She's not the only one who has people questioning her. Jacob questions a family member, while Madison believes that Chelsea is getting played. Unsurprisingly, Leslie is back to her schemes. She will find a way to use her fake injury to further an agenda. But will she succeed this time around? No one in Fairmont Crest can trust her. So, where will this go? Leslie claimed that Nicole attacked her, which caused her injury. She's not done causing hell on this family. But how far will Leslie go to cause Nicole more stress and drama? Nicole's already gone through enough. Something tells us that Leslie will take legal action. Also in town, Jacob will question someone in his family. This is related to a police matter. Is it possible that he will question Elon, or are the Duprees his main target? We already know that this family is keeping some dark secrets. According to the BTG spoilers, Naomi will learn about Martin's secret, and Vernon will feed her ear. So far, Martin has only revealed the clean version of his secret, especially to Samantha and Tyrell. They will all be shaken up once they learn the truth. Madison is a smart woman. Her hunches shouldn't be taken lightly. During Wednesday's episode, she will tell Chelsea that she's getting played. But how will Chelsea react? Will she believe her, or will she think nothing of it? Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates on Wednesday, July 23, 2025. Leslie wound Nicole up like a toy and set her loose. She deliberately baited Nicole to the point that Nicole lost control and attacked Leslie. Nicole put her hands on Leslie and attempted to strangle her while pushing her back into a booth at Orphe Jeans. And if it wasn't for Ted, Leslie could have been seriously injured. Leslie, however, is going to play on that, and in Wednesday's episode, Leslie uses her injury to further her agenda. Jacob has received word from Naomi regarding pursuing an investigation into Martin and the family. Elon, his father, and the chief of police have told him to let it go and not push the Marcel Malone thing before something bad happens and he gets hurt. Jacob understands what they are saying. It's crystal clear. But he takes his job as detective on the force very seriously. And in Wednesday's episode, Jacob questions a family member about a police matter. This is going to be the unpopular path, but the right one. Jacob is not going to like where this trail goes, and the more he discovers, the more his world is going to be rocked. In Wednesday's episode, Madison thinks Chelsea is getting played. Allison is going to use every trick in her book to try and win Chelsea back. But at some point, she will realize that Chelsea is no longer interested in that way and wants nothing to do with Allison. It's at that point that she will come to a, "if I can't have her, then you can't either" decision. Madison needs to be careful she doesn't get set up by Allison and accused of something she didn't say or do. This game is getting serious, and the stakes are getting higher. Will Madison stay the course and keep dating Chelsea? Or will she get scared off by a bit of craziness? Heads up, fans of Fairmont Crest! Beyond the Gates executive producer, Sheila Duworth, will be sitting down with Rebecca Budig and Greg Rickhart tomorrow on their new CBS podcast, Soapy, to give an inside look at the hit new daytime drama like no one else can. Soapy, hosted by Rebecca Budig and Greg Rickhart, will be featuring Sheila Duworth tomorrow on the newest installment of their podcast. The uber-talented producer and co-creator of Beyond the Gates knows the show inside and out and will be sharing her insight and behind-the-scenes information with fans. When we see our favorite soap stars doing interviews, we're always hoping they drop some hint of a storyline or future spoiler, but usually they're bound by an NDA to keep their lips sealed. The rule might not apply to those who make it, and if there's ever a case of do as I say and not what I do that we're okay with, it's when we get to hear from one of the showrunners themselves. Duworth is a television producer and Eat in Entertainment executive, and is the president of NoACP Venture, a partnership between CBS and NoACP. She is an executive producer of Beyond the Gates, the first production from the joint venture. On the July 22nd Soapy episode, Duworth talks about pitching the idea for the show to executive Mark Pritchard of Procter & Gamble. Already in talks with creator and head writer Michelle Valjean when she had a Zoom call with Pritchard. Defining him as an amazing executive and leader at P&G, she said they were just talking about ideas when she decided to pitch. Procter & Gamble was the original forerunner of sponsorships for soaps, dating back to when the cereals were on radio in the 1930s. The ads would feature cleaning products for the target audience, which was, at the time, housewives, garnering the name soap operas for the daytime serials. Eventually, the company began producing its own dramas, like Guiding Light and As the World Turns. They were on the ground floor of radio for soap, and obviously TV, and have worked hand in hand with CBS for so long, and so it was really cool. We were talking about projects in general, and I pitched Mark the idea. And truly, Mark said, "You know, I love the idea, and when you're ready to pitch it, I want to hear it." Duworth proudly added, "We were ready to pitch Beyond the Gates a year and a half later, and that's what happened." Co-host Greg Rickhart responded, "Incredible!" Duworth is the third guest on the Soapy, hosted by Rebecca Budig and Greg Rickhart podcast, and the first from Beyond the Gates. The show features conversations with past and present fan-favorite stars and show creators from across the entire soap opera genre. So far, the guests on Soapy's first 2 episodes were Eric Braeden and Deidre Hall. Next week, they will interview Lauralee Bell. Also booked for interviews are Maurice Bernard, Cameron Matheson, and Eva LaRue from General Hospital, Tracy Bregman, Christian LeBlanc, and Melody Thomas Scott from The Young and the Restless, Scott Clifton, Lawrence St. Victor, and Heather Tom from The Bold and the Beautiful, Tamara Tooney and Carla Mosley from Beyond the Gates, and Mark Cherry, the creator and writer of Desperate Housewives. Beyond the Gates sees Haley Lawson seem so in love with her husband, Bill Hamilton, but is she actually out to destroy him and playing a really long and devious con on him and others in the family? We're going to dive into Haley's suspicious actions where Bill is concerned, particularly about this dodgy pregnancy. So Haley told Bill she was pregnant. It was around mid-April. It's been almost 3 months since then. And then on June 25th, when Haley had those supposed cramps and went to the ER, she told Bill they did an ultrasound. And of course, it happened while he wasn't there. Haley talked about how the baby is tiny, and then told Bill that he is the size of an apricot. She used the words he and him, just by the way. The size of an apricot would make the baby 9 to 10 weeks along, according to my 90 seconds of internet research using Grok, because I don't remember my own pregnancy that well. So, that aligns with the point where Haley told Bill she thought she could be pregnant. That's okay. What is dodgy is Haley saying the baby is a he when an ultrasound doesn't show bits like that until at least 16 weeks, but usually closer to 20 weeks to know for sure. So, that's another thing I feel like is being misrepresented to Bill and that Haley isn't telling the truth about. Let's be real though, Bill might be really gullible about the baby stuff because he may not have been that involved in Dani Dupree's 2 pregnancies. We all know Bill was running around and sleeping around, so he might not know that much about stages of pregnancy and when you find out things, but Dani does. You know, I know that Dani thinks Haley is lying to Bill. She thinks it's about, I don't know, getting money, locking in her place as wifey number 2. But I suspect Haley might be lying for a whole other reason. That is if she really is lying and Beyond the Gates isn't just running a long con on the fans. We'll see. But Haley definitely seems to be up to no good and being dishonest with Bill since she said she had an ultrasound done at the ER and it was being emailed to her. But then when Ashley Morgan asked, I don't know if it was the nurse or the doctor about the results, she was told that Haley declined to have an ultrasound done. So this week, Haley is going to be showing Bill some ultrasound photos, but she literally could have faked those with no problem. Haley is smart, so there's definitely some lying going on, but the question, of course, is why is she lying to Bill, knowing that getting caught is inevitable? So, I have some ideas. 2 that I think are more obvious, and 1 that I really want to talk about that's pretty devious. That's my long con idea. First and foremost, Haley could be lying for financial reasons. She might tell Bill she's pregnant, wait for a while, fake a miscarriage before her due date, and then fake being traumatized, and Haley leaves Bill and Sue for a big pile of cash. You know, Dani thinks that she was trying to fake a miscarriage the other day, and then it didn't go that way. They swerved, means. So it could be that she does this, and Bill may feel so guilty over Haley losing her fake baby that he gives her a big pile of cash. Now, second, there's the chance that Haley's faking pregnant while also trying to kill Bill. Maybe that stroke he had was because Haley's slipping him some sort of toxin or poison or off-label medication. She could have overdosed him with blood pressure medication that could cause a stroke. Or an illegal drug like cocaine can cause a stroke. Lots of things can, if you're being devious. So in that way, Haley could be setting the stage for Bill to die. And then she says the stress caused a miscarriage, and as his grieving widow, you know, who's now lost her baby, Haley gets to collect on the life insurance, keep the house, all that good stuff. However, I'm wondering if there's something else afoot, and this would be so much worse. So, I wonder if Haley's been running a long con since she first came into the Hamiltons and DRE's lives. We know that Bill Hamilton is a dirty, scheming, rotten man capable of very bad things. I mean, he just arranged for Joey Armstrong to help get dirty cop Marcel to kill that creep Kenny, who was blackmailing Martin Richardson. And Bill didn't even blink at murdering a man to solve a problem. Plus, we know that Bill was a repeat cheater on Dani. He did her real dirty. And he's also the type of dirty lawyer who fixes messes for powerful people, and he has no problems crossing lines. So, I just wonder if somewhere in his scheming past whether Bill did something to hurt someone that Haley cares about. You know, there's a big age gap there. We know that supposedly she has no family and was basically an orphan when she made friends with Chelsea Hamilton, obviously to Naomi Hamilton Hawthorne, and also to Bill. According to Haley, she wound up falling for Bill, and Haley claims she didn't hurt them on purpose, blah blah. But maybe every single thing she's done has been on purpose and with an agenda. If Bill did something awful to her family, you know, maybe Haley lied from the start about her whole orphan situation, or maybe she lost her family because of Bill and he didn't realize that Haley was part of a family that he affected. You know, Bill could have slept with her mom, broke up her parents' marriage. Haley's dad might have gotten enraged, killed her mom, some kind of murder, suicide. Something really tragic that you would blame Bill for if he started the ball rolling, and Haley just could have changed her name and come in with an orphan tale, which it would have been true, you know, if he had done something to get her family killed. So maybe Bill destroyed Haley's family, and she's looking to destroy Bill's life for what he did to hers. So Haley might have put herself right in his way. You know, got trained as a paralegal, plopped her cute self down at Bill's office, and then tempted him until he did what dirty cheaters do and took her to bed. But then Haley did something none of Bill's other side pieces did. She captured his heart. Then again, Haley might have had better motivation than anybody else to make this kind of effort to steal Bill from Dani. And the motive might not have been love or money, but revenge. Haley might have lured Bill away from Dani to break all their hearts, maybe in the same way that Bill broke her mom's heart. Maybe ripping Naomi and Chelsea's parents apart is something she did because that's what Bill did to her family, and he just doesn't remember it because he's such a bad dude that he just tears through people's lives. Maybe Haley's endgame, her big coup for this plot, is to get Bill so excited about this mystery baby. So much so that when Haley says she miscarried Bill's baby, that he's devastated, then Haley might rip off her mask and say, "Ha! I won! You left your wife, you blew up your family, you got excited about this baby. I would never have a baby with you. You're a horrible human. You ruined my life. Now I've ruined yours. Haha." And at that point, you know, if Haley did cause Bill's initial stroke, she might cause him to stroke out again or have a heart attack. You know, I don't know. Haley might have caused Bill's stroke to weaken him as part of her plot. I think it would be super interesting if Haley had a big agenda and a backstory we don't know about, because right now it's kind of a blank slate. And these lies she's telling about the pregnancy don't seem to line up to any motive that Dani is trying to assign to her. I think it would be super cool if it came out that Bill was a predator that blew up her family, and Haley's been running a long con because she has a grudge against Bill that explains why she targeted the Hamiltons rather than her just being a basic gold digger.